Hello students, welcome back to Well Explained. Today we are going to discuss heterotrophic nutrition in plants. In my first lecture I explained about the autotrophic nutrition in plants, and in this we are going to discuss about the modes of nutrition in non-green plants. As we know, autotrophic nutrition takes place, that means photosynthesis takes place in the green plants. But not all the plants are green. There are few plants which lack chlorophyll. So in those plants, heterotrophic mode of nutrition is there. Some plants do not have the chlorophyll. Hence, they cannot synthesize their food by themselves, because we know chlorophyll is necessary for photosynthesis. Such plants which are lacking chlorophyll, they are known as non-green plants, and they depend on other plants or organisms for food. Such plants use the heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Among this heterotrophic mode of nutrition, we are going to learn about four main types: parasitic plants, saprophytic plants, insectivorous plants, and symbiotic plants. So first of all, coming to the parasitic plants. Parasitic plants obtain nutrition completely or partially from the other plant. The plant from which it derives its nutrition is known as the host. So, what is a parasite? A parasite is an organism which lives on or inside the body of another organism and takes shelter and food from that organism. The host in this case is always at loss. Why? Because the parasitic plant is living on the host and getting nutrition from the host. So whatever the host is preparing for itself is shared by the parasite. Parasites are of two types: total parasites or complete parasites, and partial parasites. Complete parasite or total parasite, they depend completely for their food or nutrition on the host plant because they lack chlorophyll. So, in this way, the total parasite or the complete parasite harms its host, and sometimes it leads to death, means the host plant dies. Whereas in partial parasite, chlorophyll is present. The plant can photosynthesize, but a proper system for the absorption of water and minerals is absent, as in the case of mistletoe. Mistletoe is a partial parasite. There is one more parasite, Rafflesia, which is a parasite of tetrastigma plant, and it is also an example of a complete parasite. So the plants that do not have chlorophyll are called non-green plants, and plants which live on other plants for food are called as parasitic plants. So what is parasitic nutrition? Parasites are in both plants as well as in animals. So parasites live on or inside the body of another living organism called host. They absorb the food from the body of their host and they may damage or even kill it in the process. And this process of obtaining food from the host by the parasite is known as parasitism. Non-chlorophyllous plants, that means non-green plants, viruses, and some fungi, they come under this category. In the case of fungi, as they lack chlorophyll, they cannot photosynthesize, but their mycelium, that is the false root, they go deep into the tissue of the host and secretes enzymes. So what is parasitic nutrition? The mode of heterotrophic nutrition in which an organism lives on the body of or inside the body of another organism. The organism which live on other is known as parasite, and the organism on which the parasite live is known as host. The parasite gets its nutrition from the host organism. The second category in the heterotrophic mode of nutrition is of saprotrophs or saprophytic plants. Saprotrophs are those plants. Obviously, as it is heterotrophic mode of nutrition, they are non-green plants, and in this category comes the agaricus, that is mushroom, fungi, yeast and bacteria. Saprotrophs, they get their food from the dead or decaying organic matter. They grow on dead and decaying organic matter such as cow dung, wood, bread, etc. And these plants, saprophytic plants or saprotrophs, they secrete the digestive juice over the decaying materials and absorb nutrients from them. This is called as saprotrophic or saprophytic mode of nutrition. Such plants are called as saprotrophs. Some more examples of saprophytes are Indian pipe, coral root and bird's nest orchid. They absorb nutrients from the mycelium of these fungi. Now, in the category of heterotrophic nutrition, the next type of plants are insectivorous plants. As the name is suggesting, insectivorous means the plants which eat insects. So, some plants eat insects. Such plants are called as insectivorous plants. They trap and digest the insect. Example of insectivorous plants are pitcher plant, Venus flytrap, sundew, utricularia. They all are the examples of insectivorous plants. Now in pitcher plant, the leaf is modified to form a pitcher-like structure. Pitcher कहते हैं, आपने देखा है सुराही जो होती है मटके जैसे लंबे गर्दन वाली, that is known as a pitcher. And the leaf is modified in the shape of pitcher, and this pitcher has a lid. The bright color of the pitcher, it makes it very attractive to the insect, and inside the pitcher there are several hair-like structures which are directed the trapped insect towards the downward direction. When an insect sits on the pitcher of the plant, the lid closes and the insect gets trapped inside the pitcher. The insect is then digested by the enzyme secreted by the cells of the plant. You can see in this figure this pitcher-like structure, and there is a lid. You can see it. Okay, this is the lid. When an insect sits on it, you can see it's very brightly colored. They're very beautiful, so that the insect get attracted towards it, and they trap the insect. Then these insects are digested by the enzymes which are secreted by the cells of the plants. Now, why do the insects are eaten up by the plants, or why the plant eat insect? These insectivorous plants actually they have chlorophyll. They photosynthesize. Photosynthesis takes place in these insectivorous plants. But actually what is missing is that they grow in those areas where the soil is devoid of or deficient in nitrogen. And this nitrogen is required by the plants for the synthesis of proteins. So these plants living in marshy areas where they do not get nitrogen from the soil, their nitrogen need is fulfilled by sucking the juice of insects. For example, in Venus flytrap, Utricularia, Drosera, Rafflesia, sundew, they all are examples of insectivorous plants. Now, the fourth type of heterotrophic nutrition is symbiosis or symbiotic plants, or it is also known as mutualism. Symbiosis is the combination of two Greek words. Sym means with and biosis means living, where Wherever you find this word bio, bio, biology means life science, biodegradable means which can be decomposed, biosis means living. This word symbiosis means living together. In symbiosis or mutualism, two different types of organisms, they live and work together for their mutual benefit from each other. Means if two organisms are living together, the one will benefit the other and the other will also benefit the first one. They share shelter and nutrients. Example, lichens. Lichens are composite organisms. They are composed of a fungus and an alga. We know fungus are non-green plants. They are saprophytes. They derive their food from the dead and decaying matter. Alga is an autotroph because it contains chlorophyll, so it photosynthesizes. But when these two live together, the fungus, as it is having mycelium, that is the false roots which absorb water and minerals, the fungus supplies water and minerals to the cells of the alga, while the alga supplies food prepared by photosynthesis to the fungus. That means in this way, two organisms, that fungus and the alga, they both are benefiting each other. एक दूसरे को दोनों फायदा उठा रहे हैं. दो organism parasitic type of nutrition में भी रहते हैं. A parasite and a host. But in that case, host is benefiting parasite because parasite is deriving its nutrition from the host. But in turn, host is getting anything from the parasite? No. It is harmed by the parasite, and sometimes so the parasite even kills its host. This symbiotic relationship is also present in animals. As you can see in the picture, a bird sitting on the back of the rhino. You can see it is also an example of symbiosis. The bird gets worm to eat from the body of rhino, while the rhino gets rid of these worms. These birds eat them, these worms, and rhino get relief from that. Now children, coming to the replenishment of nutrients in soil. We can say revival of soil nutrients. We know the plants are growing in the soil. These plants, they absorb nutrients from the soil, and if the plants are again and again grown in the same soil without giving or supplying some nutrient to it, what will happen? A time will come, the nutrients will be finished in the soil. These nutrients, they keep declining in the soil, and a time will come they will get finished. So to replenish these nutrients, what is done? Fertilizers or manures are added to the soil. Plants require a lot of nitrogen to grow and to be healthy. Although a lot of nitrogen is available in the atmosphere, we know in the atmosphere the percentage of nitrogen is 78%. But then also that nitrogen in that form is not used by the plants. It is the plants cannot absorb this nitrogen, that is in the gaseous form. The nitrogen which is present in the atmosphere is in the gaseous form. Now, in certain plants, in the roots, there resides a bacterium. There lives the bacterium which is known as rhizobium in the root nodules of leguminous plants. Leguminous plants means such as pulses, मूंग, ग्राम, जितनी दालें होती हैं, चना है, इन सब के रूट नोड्यूल्स में, इन सब के प्लांट्स के रूट नोड्यूल्स में कौन रहता है? एक बैक्टीरिया रहता है जिसका नाम है rhizobium. These bacteria can absorb nitrogen from the atmosphere and make it available for the plants. This bacteria helps in the fixation of nitrogen. Rhizobium cannot make its food. Why? Because it is bacteria, non-green, it cannot photosynthesize. So what happens? It provides nitrogen to the legumes, the plants in which it is residing or living, and in return the plant provide them food and shelter. So this is also an example of symbiotic relationship, and this has a great importance for farmers. Fields in which leguminous plants are grown from time to time, they do not need addition of nitrogenous fertilizers. So student, this was the end of the chapter. Hope you understood well. We'll meet in the next session with the next chapter. Till then, goodbye. All the best.